Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is Friday, October 25th, and I'll get to the weather in a moment, but we still have those red flag warnings out there, at least for today. On our show today, Carl Randazzo is here from United. Is going to talk about their M&C meeting that they had this week. Also, we have Dan Oweiler coming by from Sterling Financial Advisors, and Dan is going to be talking about the Social Security Fund, and will it last, how much is in there, so we're going to kind of go over that. We have a couple charts to show you on that. And we have Kay Havens here today, Director of the El Toro Water District, and we're going to talk about some of the projects that they have worked on, the recycling water project and retrofitting, and just ongoing maintenance that they need to do. And we also have a person on for the Southern California Hospice Foundation. We're going to find out what they are all about. Now, there's no meetings today, no open meetings. So let's get to the weather. And again, that red flag warning is still in effect. And I think it's in effect to about 5 or 6 o'clock today. And of course, you know, we've been fortunate so far down here in Orange County, but we've seen the effects of this, unfortunately, in North LA County, Santa Clarita area. So we are going to be about 91 again today. We're going to see, look at the drops here, you know, about 8 to 10 degrees tomorrow and another 8 to 10 degrees the next day. However, both those days, we could still have some offshore winds and breezes. In fact, up in North LA County, they're still looking at maybe 30-mile-an-hour winds on Sunday. These will be cooler breezes, but they still will be fairly dry breezes, so, and winds. For us, I think it's going to be more about mild offshore breezes at this point. Could be on Sunday, you know, we might see something that goes up to about 15-mile-an-hour gusts. So we'll see about that. You know, right now there are no red flag warnings. There are today, but not Saturday and Sunday, mainly because the humidity will go up and the temperatures will go way down, but the winds could still possibly be there. Then going forward, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it looks like most of next week is looking pretty good. Good, what we call our Southern California fall weather. We got a little bit of dancing clouds right there on Tuesday, going back and forth. But I'm just kind of showing the fog, kind of ebbing and flowing there. Let's look around the state this weekend. And, you know, again, the red flag warnings are really up for most of the state, many, many areas, of course. Really bad up there in the Napa County area in Geyserville, something like 12, 13, 14,000 acre fire up there. They're really having a lot of problems. So what we're looking at, if you look at some of those temperatures, I have Saturday and Sunday on Lake Tahoe, Yosemite, Central Coast. That's because there's such a drastic difference. Look at on Saturday, Yosemite, for example. Those are the highs. And then look at the lows on Sunday. You're seeing like what, a 30-degree swing, 25-degree swing in Lake Tahoe, in Yosemite, even the Central Coast area. And so all throughout the state, we're going to see much cooler weather on Sunday than we will on Saturday. So I'm giving you kind of an average, but in certain areas there was such a big difference, I put both temperatures in. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
October is Audiology Awareness Month. Studies show that 70% of the people over the age of 65 have some form of hearing loss which affects their lives. Hearing loss is common, yet not healthy. Your brain needs to hear a complete spectrum of sound to process it quickly and accurately. Audiologists are the experts in treating hearing issues. Come to Amazing Hearing and let our audiologists change the way you hear.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
Looking for a change of scenery? You don't have to play golf to enjoy all that 19 Restaurant and Lounge has to offer. From a delicious breakfast menu to our delectable lunch and dinner specials. At 19 Restaurant and Lounge, there is something for everyone. Relax with your friends and family and take in the beautiful view from our spacious patio. Or enjoy a cocktail and appetizer in our lounge. 19 Restaurant and Lounge is a great place to socialize, enjoy a meal, or simply take in the view. Join us 7 days a week and experience Laguna Woods' exclusive dining experience.
I retired 18 years ago, and a good friend of mine says, "Hey, Gear, what the hell are you going to do with your time now?" And the next thing I knew, I was a delivery man for Meals on Wheels.
To the homebound neighbors he's delivered meals to for 18 years, my father, Homer Gear, is the real leading man.
Hey, well, hello there. How are you today?
Well, with me today from United is Carl Randazzo, and he also chairs the United M&C meeting that they had just recently.
Yeah.
And today you're going to give us a
rundown.
recap on it.
Yeah, we had a rather eclectic meeting. We discussed a whole plethora of things, okay? And I'm just going to put up some of the highlighted issues.
Sure.
The meeting occurred this Wednesday, October 23rd. Last week when I was on Channel 6, we talked about the fact that there's a schedule of all the meetings, so if you want to know what's going on, it starts at the committee level, so please come to the committee meetings, and then you'll have a better insight as to what's going on within United. We had a good meeting. At the meeting, we approved the consent calendar, which includes the project log. And as I've mentioned here before, the project log addresses all the outstanding projects that are being worked in the community. And it's this 11 by 17 sheet of paper, and there's approximately 16 items on this log. These are major projects. And some of these include painting and prior to paint, the installation of new fencing to replace the old fencing, replacing of electrical panels in some manners, and epoxy waistline remediation, among others. And as I noted, the list does go on. We went over that log. Then at the meeting, we also touched on parking space striping in the cul-de-sacs. One of our residents asked that we add lines in their cul-de-sac to mark the parallel parking spaces so that we limit the area where people can park and thereby allow more additional parking. This is a great idea. However, if people would comply with these lines, it would be an even better idea. However, they will not, and we have some flyover indications in one cul-de-sac where we did it and nobody was complying with it. It's a cost associated with it. So we'll look at it again, okay, and possibly consider it for the 2022 budget, but there was nothing in our budget for this year or for next year that would address this. And at this particular point in time, we don't feel that it's something that we should be doing because nobody complies with it. We also discussed the building and cul-de-sac sign installation program. It is started and will continue in 2020. The buildings will receive large signs during the painting program, and the cul-de-sacs will start receiving signs starting in 2020. And on the side of a building, there'll be this huge sign that specifically has the number of the building, and it's huge. And if you look at thirds, you'll see what they'll look like. These signs will basically be rolled out for United. Will start in Gate 5 area first, since it's adjacent to thirds in Gate 5. And then not all signage would be installed in a year. It will be rolled out based on budgets and manpower over multiple years. And that's the present plan right now, unless we change that. But right now, that's our plan. It's not a priority, but it does have a priority. It's not a high priority, but it is a priority. We also voted on a new charter for the United M&C Committee. We recently noted that the M&C charter is really out of date since it described an M&C committee that also had at one time oversight of architectural issues. Architectural reviews are now done by a separate architectural committee, and thus the M&C charter needed to be changed to remove the architectural reviews. There were also some other editorial changes that needed to be made. At the meeting, we accepted the new version and will now pass on to the board for approval. As everybody knows, the committee doesn't approve anything. We just make recommendations to the board, and that's where the whole approval will be done with all 11 people present on the board. At the meeting, we also addressed the request to change the elevation height of sections of the fence behind Aldi's. That is, certain sections of the fence behind Aldi's are at 6 feet, and other sections are at 7 feet. And they wanted to make them all the same height. And it basically becomes an aesthetic issue and not something that's a deterrent issue, because the committee felt that the cost associated with changing the height by 1 foot was not warranted, because 1 foot will not make a difference in the deterrence aspect of the fencing. Fencing that is around our perimeter is a deterrent and not meant to prevent anyone that wants to hop the fence to hop the fence. As noted in the dictionary, a deterrent is a thing that discourages or is intended to discourage someone from doing something. It is not a prevention tool. The 6-foot fence is still a deterrent, so as a result of that, we voted against increasing the elevation at certain locations behind Aldi from 6 to 7 feet. As a part of our discussion about fencing, we also broached the topic of fencing that is currently being installed on El Toro Road, and the fact that the contractor has had to cut back on the bushes that have blocked the visual street traffic from the residents living in that area. A lot of those bushes are basically up against the wall, and in order to put in new fencing that tops that wall, which is new Shepherd's Crook, they couldn't access it, so they had to cut back on the bushes, and a lot of people were unhappy with that. And I understand why, because we understand that the street traffic noise is an annoyance, and if anyone understands this, it's me, since I live along Laguna Hills Drive, and my area is very noisy as well. However, we have to understand that bushes do not reduce the noise. However, it is the impression of noise reduction that is important to your mind's eye, and we understand that. In view of the fact that El Toro Road is in and of itself a deterrence to people hopping the fence, just by location of it being on this busy thoroughfare, okay, people are just not going to hop the fence. And the barbed wire on top of that wall is still in good condition. Perhaps we need to reassess where we need to prioritize the location for installing the new Shepherd's Crook fencing. The original plan was to end at a certain location 1 year, and then next year 1,475 feet would start at that location and continue on until we reach the complete perimeter of 21,000 feet. But maybe we need to change that thinking a little bit to prioritize the locations for installing the new Shepherd's Crook fencing. So what we need to do is we need to take a look at it and prioritize those areas that are hidden, like behind Aldi's and various other areas first. And then, and as long as the barbed wire in those locations that we're not going to do are still in good shape, then we will basically just go to those areas where it's not in good shape or where it is hidden so that people can just hop the fence and never be seen, okay?
Right.
But I will be bringing this issue to the board to see if we can reprioritize some of our locations. And the area around El Toro right now along El Toro is being put on hold for the moment. And then we also discussed walkway lighting, and I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate mail on this one. According to the protocols and procedures in United, the walkway lighting is not intended to eliminate the entire walkway. Let me repeat myself. According to the protocols and procedures in United, the walkway lighting is not intended to illuminate the entire walkway. Its function is to indicate a change in direction or elevation within a walkway. Based on this, it is not in our plan to illuminate every walkway with lights. If a nighttime walk is necessary to get to your vehicle, then there should be sufficient illumination to get you from your door to the carport area. If you want to take a walk at night in areas that are currently not illuminated, then a flashlight will probably be necessary. However, if there is a situation where you feel that a light is needed based on the basis that I just described, then obtain the form and make your request or contact resident services. And I'm sure a lot of people are not happy with that, but at this particular point in time, the cost to illuminate light walkways would just be intense. And some of the people would complain about the fact that it's shining in their bedroom, okay, and they can't sleep, okay, so you're never going to win. So basically, that's what we did there were a number of other things, but for the most part, that was the synopsis of what we did at the MNC meeting this past Wednesday.
All right, very good. I appreciate you coming on.
Well, thank you.
I know that's
Appreciate
a huge task of everything that goes on.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and it's quite a moving target, isn't it? Quite.
A lot
Yes,
of moving
yeah.
targets, yes, exactly.
Carl,
it's like herding cats.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Good to see you. We'll be right back.
If you have Medicare, you got to get Alignment Health Plan's Black Card. It's a member-only benefit, unlike anything I've ever seen, giving you access to one-on-one health support any time of day or night. Need to schedule an appointment or need it right there? They'll take care of it. Now you can talk to a doctor 24 hours a day. Call them and get a card of your own, and all the benefits you deserve, too.
October is Audiology Awareness Month. Studies show that 70% of the people over the age of 65 have some form of hearing loss which affects their lives. Hearing loss is common, yet not healthy. Your brain needs to hear a complete spectrum of sound to process it quickly and accurately. Audiologists are the experts in treating hearing issues. Come to Amazing Hearing and let our audiologists change the way you hear.
Holiday season is near, and Diane's Hallmark is your one-stop shop for the special people in your life. We have beautiful, unique gifts and decorations, women's clothing, religious items, cards of course, and a wide selection of amazing, fun items you must see to believe. Come see why so many of your neighbors come to Diane's Hallmark for their holiday needs. Diane's Hallmark is close by in Laguna Niguel. Stop in to see our broad selection of year-round and seasonal gifts and cards.
I'm Dr. Leif Loberg, and I want to welcome you to our brand new facility here in Laguna Woods. We've been serving the community since 2006, and we're super excited to bring you an awesome team of doctors, Dr. Jackson, Dr. Asaturians, Dr. Vian, myself, here to serve you in our brand new state-of-the-art facility. Call us in the morning and we'll get you in the same day, guaranteed.
Welcome back. Well, with me today is Dan Ohlweiler. He is, of course, the president of Sterling Financial Advisors.
Whatever that means.
Well, that's how you're listed anyway, you know. Chief cook and bottle washer.
There you go.
There.
Dump the trash.
Yeah. Well, you know, today we're going to be talking about Social Security. And, of course, you know, this is the time of the year. Of course, people are looking at their Medicare programs. But also, this is the time of the year that it's always suggested by our friend Jeffrey Rodriguez of course, Social Security.
Right.
To look at you can go online, obviously, to My Social Security and kind of look at where you're at and change things and whatever you need to do.
Well, historically, when they started Social Security back in the 1940s, you know, it wasn't meant to be a catch-all retirement program.
Right.
It was supposed to supplement those people that maybe hadn't saved enough or anything like that. You know, now it's become very important. I think we have a slide that shows how many people are now claiming
this
Social
is what we're having here. And I put a line around 1940 just so people. I have a question here. If there was a mistake, you put the word trust on here associated with the government. That seems a little. Was that a mistake?
They'll never touch the Social Security Trust Fund, right?
Right. But, you know, this really shows look at the ratio. That's really the most important thing, the ratio of workers.
Almost 160 workers for every person on Social Security.
Yeah.
That obviously changed as the baby boomer generation started to retire. You know, we have 80,000 of us retiring every year for the next decade, 80 million going on it. And so not only that, but the workforce is shrinking. So the ratio is really dropping significantly, where last year it was at 2.8 workers for every one person on Social Security. Well, you know, that actually impacts, they estimate that the Social Security system's supposed to run out in 2035.
Right.
Unless they do something, which they will, you know, I mean, they're not going to, but most of those changes probably, more than likely, will not affect those that are currently on Social Security.
Yeah.
It's those that are coming up.
Right.
Okay, and there's a lot of different options in those changes. And I think we have a slide that talks about that.
Yeah.
You know, and so.
So in the next slide, it shows, I know one of them that raising the age of eligibility, and if we could show the next slide, this will come up. This is the one that's talked about the most because, let's face it, it's the easiest.
Right.
And it doesn't cost anything, really.
Well, really what they should do, when I say eligibility, you know, you can start taking Social Security at age 62.
Yeah.
If they would move that
right.
to 65, so when you're eligible for Medicare, you can get Social Security.
Yeah.
That would significantly impact the viability of the trust fund.
Right, right.
And so, you know, you don't necessarily, you know, when they first started, Social Security was, you were eligible at 65.
Yeah.
Then it went to 66. Now it's 67 for those that are born after, you know, 50. I think it's 1959 or 7 or something like that.
Right. Yes, 59. Yeah.
And so it's 67. Well, that will probably go up as well. It'll probably go to age 68 and then 69 or 70. But that's going to affect your children and my children,
Right.
you know, when it comes time. But if they could change that eligibility rule for 62 maybe to 65, that would have a significant increase.
Yeah.
You know, and that in and of itself, you know, might affect some of the people now, but they would grandfather all those who are currently on it.
And the interesting thing about that is taking early Social Security, they also limit you on what you can earn throughout
Correct.
the year without being penalized.
Correct.
So in a way, it's this double-edged sword. You're going to take money from the government early, and yet you're not going to be putting money back into the government.
Right.
Because if you make over, I think it's $17,500, something
As a
like
single,
that, you're going to be penalized. Not just taxed,
Right.
but penalized.
Well, they're going to take some of your Social Security
right.
away.
So,
Like you said, we're talking about the government.
Right.
Not always logical in what some of the things they do, you know.
Right.
But they're going to have to do something, because if they don't, you're going to have a complete collapse of the Social
and that
Security
would be
system.
something that said we're not going to allow this
Right.
maybe a year earlier or something. But you know.
Second, an increased Social Security tax on workers, that would that would obviously not go over well with the working class, or employers. But if they raised it 0.5% or whatever, that would also. There's probably going to be a combination of all of these things that they were going to implement.
Yeah.
Okay. Increased Social Security tax on income limit. You know, I mean. You could.
That's right.
You could say, okay, anything over and above. I think it's 123,000 right now. Then you don't pay anything.
Right. Well, you pay up to that level.
Up to that level.
Yeah.
Well, if they would increase that and say 150 or 175,000, that would also be okay. And because you're paying that anyway, it's just that you're not maxing out.
Yeah.
So those are some options. And the final one, limit cost of living adjustments. Well, that wouldn't go over very well with those that are receiving.
Right.
But
and a need-based eligibility, well, on the other hand, if you've paid into this for 40 quarters and beyond,
right.
you're like, wait a second, you don't get to determine if I need it or not. That's
right.
for me.
It was my money,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and so just because I've done well in life and I'm making $400,000 a year, I shouldn't get it. Well, that's a philosophical difference between, you know, maybe those on the left and those on the right. You know, it's what they call redistribution of wealth. You know, take from the rich and distribute it to the poor, and that can be a viable part of our overall philosophy in government. But you know, they're going to say, well, if you're, who's the person for Berkshire Hathaway? I can't.
Oh yeah, I can't. Yeah. Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett doesn't need Social Security, but he did pay into the system all that time.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So philosophically, you can understand why they don't get it, but at the same time, it's my money that I put into the system.
Right.
You know. So if they would let us take that money and put it into our IRA, I'd be much better off.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't do that. But I think that somewhere down the line, they're going to have to come up with probably a combination of all these things. The cost of living adjustment, you know, over the last, I think, 10 years or so has been around 2.8. Now, it doesn't seem like that, but over the last...
And this year, it's 1.5.
Yeah, it was down this year.
And you're kind of like, where do they get that from?
Right.
The cost of living has gone up more than...
The nice thing is they exclude food and gas and all that other stuff that counts that we pay for every year. But you know, the Social Security system was never meant to be your primary retirement. And people, unfortunately, I think half of the recipients, that's the only income they get in retirement. And so they do need to do something in that regard.
Right.
So it's an ongoing debate as to what they're going to do, but the odds are most of the time it's going to affect those that haven't yet claimed Social Security, the workers and things like that. If they adjust the cost of living a little bit less, you know, that'll affect
well,
some.
I can see, you know, like you said, I think a combination of raising the eligibility or just getting rid of the 62 type option.
Right.
Increasing the tax, nobody wants to increase tax, but suppose like for us workers, it's only, you know, $20 extra a month. Let's just say that's all it is. That could make a huge difference over time.
Oh, absolutely.
And then definitely, I do agree, you know, on the income limit because you know, this is one instance where I'll say people making that kind of money, if they're still paying the social, they're not going to even notice it.
Right, right.
Yeah.
I mean, the $125,000 limit, and then you don't pay anymore. You know, just open that up and just say that.
And right there.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be the easiest thing to do.
Yeah.
But you know, Congress is never popular when they increase anybody's taxes.
Right. That's true. All right. Well, you know what? Dan can help you out. Maybe not so much in your the taxes and stuff. Well, I mean,
we can help
but you
with
know
taxes.
What? Well, you can.
Yeah.
And you can. You know, when it comes to Social Security, it's something that Dan can help you out. Really looking at, you know, maybe how to. You know,
one of
the stuff around
we do our seminars, and people will ask questions at our seminars. They'll write them down so we can maybe answer them. One of the probably the most common question that we get is when's the best time to start taking Social Security?
Yeah.
That's probably the number one question. And there isn't a right time.
Yeah.
I've recommended to people that start taking it at age 62 because they don't have enough income coming in.
Yeah.
And they need that money to pay their income. I've recommended some to wait till age 70 because they have other assets.
Yeah.
It's not a right or wrong question. It's just that what's the needs for that individual at this time? And, and you maybe you can wait till age 66 or whatever it is, but I've recommended in some of our plans for people to start taking at age 62 simply because they don't have enough income.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not a right or wrong question is when's the best time to take it. If we have other means that we can delay that, Social Security goes up at 8% a year.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway.
All right, give Dan a call, and you know, if you you may get his.
Oh my gosh!
Is this weekly? I always forget, 'cause I get
we
this. I
probably
always
send that
forget.
out once a month.
Yeah, so you can get the newsletter that you get
Yeah.
on here, and if you're lucky, you may even see our video on here that he puts up. So
Yeah, I put from time to time.
So what I do is I go home and I watch myself all over again. That's kind of nice. So there we are. See, look at
You
that.
need to get a live, Ken.
Yeah. All right. Hey, thank you, sir, very much.
Good to see you.
All right.
All right.
Have a good Halloween, and we'll be back.
All right.
It's your retirement. How will you live it? How will you be remembered?
Will you be able to send me an invitation? Will you be there for my ball games? Will you teach me your values? Will you be able to play with me? Oh, help me go to college. How will I remember you?
Have the retirement you dream about. Contact us today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sean Thomas. Sports Talk. Come join me here every Thursday morning at 11:30 a.m. for sports news, highlights, and interviews for all of Laguna Woods and around the world. Put it on your calendar. It's a great way to start your day with me and the Sports Talk way.
Need your assistance on this one.
Used to keep it cool.
You did a good job.
Maybe it's time for me to go.
I'm overmatched for the first time since I can remember.
I just need somebody to believe in me.
Who's doing that LA night? Nobody.
The all-new 3-row Subaru Ascent. Room for up to 8 passengers. Choice of second-row captain's chairs or bench seating. Standard EyeSight driver assist technology. Coming from Kelley Blue Book's most trusted brand for 4 years running. The Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Irvine Subaru. Get your new Subaru here with 2 years complimentary maintenance included.
Welcome back. Well, with me today from the El Toro Water District is their director, Kay Havens, and good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Yes, yeah, again, because we had you on a little while ago for something totally different. Well, actually not totally different, but
yeah,
because it would involve the use of water.
Related.
But anyway, today we're going to be talking about the recycled water retrofits, which of course has been a big part of this community over the last, I think now, 3 years at least?
At least 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So what, as people are probably aware, we have a tertiary treatment plant down on Moulton and Ridge Route that has been taking our wastewater and turning it into recycled irrigation water.
Right.
And so far, it's produced 2 billion gallons
Wow.
of recycled water since 2015, which is huge. That's 2 billion gallons we don't have to import from somewhere else, which is significant for us as far as resiliency goes, that we are able to do this, that we don't have to pay for the fresh water. So, so far, 830 million gallons of recycled water has been delivered to Third Mutual, and that savings has been $325,000.
Okay, very
which is
good.
really important to
Yeah.
us because everybody is concerned about savings.
Yeah.
So in phase 1, a lot of people saw this work being done. We had to put in 100,000 feet of pipeline.
That's right.
And so we had to bring that water up from the treatment plant and bring it up into the communities. And now we're in phase 2. That was in 2014. Now we're in phase 2. And we're going to be putting in 28,000 feet of pipeline. And we're already in progress, so people are already seeing this being done. And what you can expect to see, we'll have some slides on what you can expect to see in your community if you haven't seen it done before.
Okay, so on the next slide, it's about, again, the retrofits. We have another map here. And this one's a little bit harder to see.
They're tiny
but
because the area
you
is
can
large.
See, yeah.
So we're in 5, off of gate 5 and off of gate 9. And each little dot, you kind of can't see it, and we apologize for that, is a new meter. So, and it's having extensive regulatory oversight and compliance. Anytime you move water around, that's very normal. So, but we're looking at putting in 65 new meters.
Okay.
Yes. So, and the way we do that is they go out in the field and they have to separate the lines because, of course, it's all fresh water now. And that's expensive water. Anytime you're using fresh water on the landscape, that's expensive water. So they actually have to go out and separate the 2 lines. And so you'll be seeing people doing that. They have to put a separate meter in for the irrigation water because that's billed at a different rate. And so you'll be seeing those different assemblies going in. And there's a lot of testing that goes on, pressurizing the lines. And you can see they check the pressures and make sure the 2 systems are completely separate. There's oversight from the county, and our guys are meticulous out there.
I have one of those pressure gauges at home.
Yeah, they're very useful.
They are very useful.
They're very useful. So the system is split, and then we, get our pipes online. Those tested again, and so it's a very, very safe process.
And then in the next slide, we actually show kind of inside and what's going on here.
Well, this is standard throughout the industry that anything that's recycled is labeled with purple. So often the lids are purple. You'll see we have just a purple strip that we put on top of the irrigation meter to show that it's now recycled water. That way that just keeps, purple, purple, and potable, potable.
Okay.
So if you see a purple meter, anything that's flagged in purple, that's recycled water.
Let me ask you something about this. Now, obviously, you're doing this in the community here.
Yeah.
But the average single-family home, this is not done. It's one line that comes in.
No, usually in communities, they look for parks and large systems they can attach to. It's much easier to attach it to a large system. New homes are all being
we see,
recycled.
by the way, the plant video, the plant up here.
Oh, yay, great, yeah. We're so proud of that plant. I've toured it and...
And there's a recycled, you can tell by the purple, magenta, whatever color it is, but yes.
Yeah, so it's very clear. And we love our purple water because it does save a lot of
But I
money.
can understand why it's not done in single-family homes because quite often there are pets out there. Your sprinkler
it is done
system.
in new communities.
Is it really?
It's just hard to retrofit the old communities because it's all the piping. The piping, there is a significant cost to that. So it's better to do it in large tranches than in small.
Yeah. Now, the water is still safe, though, correct? The recycled water,
Oh, absolutely safe. My dog, walks through the landscape, no problems whatsoever. So
all right.
don't worry about that.
In the slide after this one, we're seeing just more of a in-depth view of how this is done. And I remember seeing this before.
Yes, you'll be seeing trenching. Just use common sense. Stay away from the trenches if they're working there. And, this is, like I said, all standard procedure. The new meters, as I said, will all be purple. You'll just see guys out digging and just know it's, to your benefit.
And again, this goes along with the question I just asked. There are signs, like in the next slide.
The next slide,
do not drink. But in general, if...
It's all common sense.
Right. And I guess what I'm asking is, it probably wouldn't be happening here, but like in community parks, the sprinklers go off and their kids maybe on a hot day running through there it's not going to hurt them.
No, it's got a little higher level of chlorine. You'll notice that, but that just means it's, extra safe. And I just don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is still ongoing on the last slide here. The other areas that are going to be done and a little more of a close-up view here of what we showed in that first slide.
As I said, we're going to be doing putting in 65 new meters. And 18 are going to be in Gate 5, and 47 are going to be in Gate 9.
Okay.
So, you know, you'll be seeing people in certain areas. You'll be seeing our guys out there, you know, digging and getting things ready. Now, it's going a little slower than we would like. That always happens. Gate 5 is expected to be finished in January.
Okay.
And Gate 9 is expected by the end of 2020.
Okay.
So, but we're just so thrilled with this, with the savings that have come out of this, and we're expecting to be able to deliver that with this project as well. So, significant savings to the citizens in Laguna Woods Village. So,
very good.
We're excited about it.
Well, good. And obviously, we'll be getting updates as this goes on.
Yes, we will.
Just like we did with the other phase.
Yes, we will. We love coming in.
And I believe the other phase actually finished a little bit early, so this will even everything out.
We're hoping. We're always hopeful, yes.
All right. Kay, good to see you again.
Great to be with you.
You take care.
Thank you.
We'll see you next time.
Yes, indeed.
All right. We'll be back.
When I was first diagnosed, they gave me about 2 years to live.
After they took it out, they did some additional tests, and it found out that yes, it was a cancerous tumor.
I had an aorta dissection, and that triggered a stroke on top of it.
I've been in treatment a little over 2 years. They saved my life.
If I hadn't been pregnant, they would not have found that mess. If it hadn't been for Ben, I might not be here.
It was amazing that he has knowledge to do what he has to do to save me.
Get out and live your life with the Buzz Around XL travel scooter from Golden. The Buzz Around is fun to drive with a tight indoor turning radius so you can go just about anywhere. It's also so easy to charge and offers all-day range so you can go further. The Buzz Around even has more leg and foot room for all-day driving comfort. Be safe with the XL's ultra-bright LED headlight. Plus, the Buzz Around XL can be easily taken apart into several lightweight pieces. See for yourself just how easy and affordable mobility freedom can be.
Do you know how secure your money and personal information will be on your next real estate transaction? Escrow Options Group is the only escrow company trained by the FBI on fraud. We also carry cyber fraud protection and have received the largest industry security measure, the SSAE certification. Ask your real estate professional to open escrow with Escrow Options Group to ensure the protection of your funds and personal information on your real estate transaction.
A new era in tolling technology has arrived. The future of Fast Track is here, and now in the form of a thin sticker that is specifically created to be small, unobtrusive, and with more simplified payment options. But don't let the small size fool you. Its built-in technology will not only have you zipping through the toll roads of Orange County, it also gives you easy access to all of California's tolled bridges, lanes, and roads, saving you time, avoiding traffic, and getting to your destination stress-free. One sticker transponder will be provided free to each vehicle listed on the account. And starting in mid-2019, Fast Track account holders will be able to choose from 3, not just 1, payment methods. Plus, there will be no monthly account maintenance, and frequent Fast Track drivers may be eligible for discounted tolls. So how does this new technology work? The new transponder does not require a battery. Instead, it has a small antenna embedded in the sticker. Just like the hard case transponder, when you pass through a toll location, the equipment reads the sticker to automatically charge your account the appropriate amount. Installation is quick and easy. When your sticker package arrives, follow the simple instructions on the envelope. It's important to know that the sticker must be adhered to the inside of your vehicle before driving on a tolled bridge, lane, or road. There, you're all set to go out and enjoy the drive. A new drive awaits on the toll roads of Orange County.
Well, I'd like to welcome from the Southern California Hospice Foundation, Michelle Wolfestig. And Michelle, good to meet you.
You too.
And since this is the first time you folks have been on with us, we're really here to find out what the Hospice Foundation is all about. So welcome.
Thank you so much.
Great to have you here today.
Thank you.
Now, I was asking right before we went on, this is a nonprofit, and you know, by the name, people might think, okay, you put people in hospice, do you help people out? What is this all about?
So the Southern California Hospice Foundation is a nonprofit organization that is not a hospice provider, but we are designed to support patients and families at the end of life with needs that reach beyond the scope of what the Medicare benefit will cover.
Okay.
Yes.
So that would include, you know, like just basic needs or transportation, because the hospice benefit really covers
right.
the dwelling or the care and that sort of thing, but there's many other things that may be needed.
Exactly. So under hospice, hospice is for patients who are diagnosed with 6 months or less to live that choose not to seek aggressive treatment, and they want to live out the remainder of their lives in comfort and peace and dignity. So that's what hospice focuses on.
Okay.
And with hospice, you get a physician, a nurse, a social worker, a chaplain, a home health aide, and a volunteer, all who go to the patient's home, wherever that may be, and deliver that supportive care. But there's a lot of needs that exist at the end of life that are not met by any insurance.
Right.
And so that's where we step in. So we help patients with things like payment of a utility bill, transportation, a final wish. Perhaps they want to be reunited with a family member that they haven't seen in years. And so our foundation will come in and help to support that and sponsor that. And we are funded entirely by philanthropic dollars in the community.
Okay, so tell me the background of this organization. When did it start and who started it?
We were founded in 2002. We were actually born out of a hospice agency called Companion Hospice.
Okay.
And since then, we've grown tremendously. And we serve all of Southern California and all hospice patients, regardless of their hospice provider. I've been with SoCal Hospice Foundation since about 2010.
Okay.
And I've been in hospice for about 16 or 17 years. And really, my passion for hospice stems from my own personal health struggles. Believe it or not, I am a 2-time stroke survivor.
Oh, wow.
I had my first stroke at the age of 11 due to a rare lesion on my brain that I was born with. And when I was 14 years old, the doctor told me that I wouldn't live past the age of 30. And so I grew up all of my life knowing that I had a limited life expectancy.
Oh, wow.
But in that process of knowing this, I really chose to live each day to the fullest. And I learned that the best way to have a positive outlook on life is to serve others. And I found that in hospice. And so I've been in hospice since I was 21. And I'm able to come alongside our patients during their darkest hour and really give them a reason to smile again. And so our goal is to really transform the traditional standard of hope for a cure to hope for comfort, for quality of life, and hope for dignity with death.
And we've got some photos here.
Yes.
And showing some of the folks that have benefited here. And, you know, I asked you, I was looking through this and I go, well, you know, I think I recognize this guy right here, Gordon Ramsay. And we know that, you know, he films a show in LA, and you made a connection here for this young lady.
Yes, this young woman, her name is Angel, and she came to us actually through our Angel Assistance Program, which is where the hospice team can submit an application to us. And she was a young lady that loved to cook, and she actually was at culinary art school in LA. And she just wanted to be a chef and serve others. So we connected her with Gordon Ramsay. He gave her cooking tips and a lot of little gifts and an iPad for school. And then we've just continued in her journey in helping her to have this culinary experience. We connected her with Kat Cora, who won Iron Chef one year. That was a couple weeks ago. We also helped her to fulfill her wish to serve foster girls. And so she wanted to serve them a meal, and we arranged that in Pasadena where so it was wonderful.
And then, you know, we talked about too that, you know, unfortunately this involves kids as well.
Right.
And this is something, of course, a Medicare benefit isn't out there for. There's
Right.
other things that people get help with. But you fulfill their wishes too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and so with children, they have the benefit of receiving what's called palliative care. So they can seek aggressive treatment, get their chemotherapy and their radiation, while also receiving the benefit of hospice care. And so the kids that we work with are all at the end of life, and most of them have already had a wish fulfilled by Make-A-Wish, for example, but they are really in the final weeks of life. And so when we get a request, we don't have a lot of time to fulfill it, and we work very quickly to make that happen, whatever it is that they want.
And we have another couple pictures here. Well, one of them really, actually a few pictures. Tell us about this house. Is this a certain one that you folks own, or do you kind of have it?
We do. We're very proud of it. This is what we call the Heavenly Home Project. And this is the result of a capital campaign that we're currently involved with to address what we call the hidden housing crisis. Because after patients are discharged from the hospital with a terminal illness, they often have nowhere to go. Maybe they don't have a home to go to, or maybe for whatever reason they choose not to die in their own home, and they don't want to maybe go to a nursing facility. And so we get lots of calls from people in the community looking for a place to go. So we launched this campaign. We purchased this house in April of this year, and we're currently doing the renovations with plans to open in 2021.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, where's this located?
It's located in the city of Mission Viejo, and because we're a nonprofit, we plan to charge people on a sliding scale, and it will be supplemented by philanthropic dollars in the community. And we just received a $1 million matching grant to help with the sustainability of the home. So it's very exciting.
Now, if the folks that go here, are you planning to have maybe 2 or 3 folks in here and then a caregiver?
It will be.
How would that work?
It's going to be licensed as a residential care facility for the elderly. There will be 6 bedrooms, and we will provide the 24-hour caregiving and the housing and the food, and then we will partner with medical hospices who will come in and render the hospice care to the patients.
Okay, all right, very good. For more information, people can go online and I tell just search Southern California Hospice Foundation, but I think the direct website is right here, SoCalHospiceFoundation.org, and then Facebook.com. I think people know how to get on there and find the same thing, so you can get more information there. Thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it, and good cause.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, and again, more information, just look them up online. We'll be right back.
Save now at LA Carpet & More's 50% off sale.
Buy direct and save 50% on carpet and 50% off tile.
Plus, get 5 years 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Save now at LA Carpet & More's 50% off sale.
Buy direct and save 50% on carpet and 50% off tile.
Plus, get 5 years 0% financing.
LA Carpet, #1 for you.
Most real estate agents stick to the 3 Ps of marketing. They place it on the MLS, they put up a sign, and pray that it sells. Laguna Premier Realty takes a different approach to marketing your home. From professional and high-quality photos, to high-definition video, single property websites, and 3D virtual tours. We will make your property stand out and, most importantly, sell. So whether you are looking to list your current home or find your dream home in the Village, Laguna Premier Realty is here to help.
movie this week, today, as a matter of fact, is a fun one, Men in Black International. And this is sort of a sequel, so to speak, because there's been, I think, a couple of them to the original Men in Black, which I really liked a lot. This is another just fun movie, and I think you'll enjoy this. Stars Chris Hemsworth, Tessa Thompson, and they are back together to keep everyone safe. The decorated agent and a rookie agent join forces to keep humans alive on Earth as all these different aliens come down. And I mean, you know, it really is just a fun, funny movie. And of course, Chris Hemsworth, he also plays Thor. So this will be today at 2 o'clock and at 7 o'clock. And it's about an hour and 54 minutes. Good movie. I think you'll enjoy it. It's just fun. Brought to you by AutoNation Toyota. Now, just have time for quick weather. And if you're watching us here in the morning, I've been saying that there's still a red flag warning out. I think it's going to be issued all the way to about 5 o'clock at least tonight. Certain areas that might be a little bit longer than that. We have been fairly fortunate here in Orange County. There hasn't been much of, there's been some winds. We certainly felt them where I live last night, but they dissipated very quickly. So we still got about 91 degrees. We're going to see, look at those temperatures go down, but offshore breezes and Santa Ana wind conditions will continue all the way through Sunday. Each day it's going to be less, but they're still there. There's not a red flag warning right now for Saturday or Sunday as of this moment because of the much cooler temperatures, but still fire conditions are going to be out there all the way through probably Sunday evening. And then as we go forward, we got some, I consider fall weather, fall weather for here anyway, coming up the following week, as you can see there. All right, we're out of time. Have a good weekend and take care. Bye-bye.